Oh my God. It's that thing Christians do of like love, hate the sin, not the sinner. That's why they all think they can save P. Diddy. They say that imitation is the greatest form of flattery. So, in true fashion, we have an African version of almost every successful American show. Yeah, they try their best. And that has kind of trickled down to YouTube as well. So there's this channel called Cruise, and they basically want to start conversations like Jubilee does. And yeah, although, Jubilee is problematic, and I guess Cruise will be problematic the longer on they go. We're gonna try react to pastors versus voodoo. There's only one true religion. I don't think there's any true religion. So that's my answer. Why? Because I haven't been convinced that any of them are true. It's pretty straightforward. Can't be that complicated.
Even God said, He said, "Thou shalt not bow to any other God except me." So that means that the author and the creator of everything he acknowledged that there are other gods, but there's one true God.
In the book of John.
How does that make sense? That there's other gods, but there's only one true God. If the gods do exist, are they not true? Like I don't understand how she's rationalizing this. There's other gods, but there's only one true God. I wish I would have just gone deeper into that. She's being very honest though. Like 3 out of the 10 commandments are basically, you better love me and nobody else.
Christianity is not the only true religion. I represent the ordinala or ordinary religion. That's the Igbo traditional religion. You understand? And this Igbo traditional religion is like only for Igbos.
Which, yeah, I did hear or read somewhere about how the Christian God is a God for a specific people, i.e., the chosen people, and how there's like other gods, right? And then those other gods have their own people that they're looking after. So he's not wrong according to his belief, because that's how kind of Christianity is as well, is that it's not for everybody, it's for a specific chosen group of people.
Excuse me, Christianity is the only true way. You said it has been before existence. It has never been before existence. The Bible says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and He...
Han came with one verse. It's just gonna run it up, like, damn.
So you see, one thing about you Christians is that you are all over yourselves. Like your Jesus Christ. He said he is the only way, the truth, and the life. He blew his trumpet, and you people are running with it. How can you say you are the only way? That is braggadocious. That guy is arrogant.
I mean, no lies detected. Because Jesus is all New Testament stuff, right? And he was raised in the religion they were following in those days, where they were like, oh, there's going to be a Messiah, and this is going to happen, and this is going to happen. And because in the Bibles that, we have in all our houses, we don't get to see what happens between him being born and like when he's much older and baptized by John the Baptist, right? So he was in school learning all this stuff. So who's to say he wasn't just like, okay, I'ma be the Messiah. I'ma go and it's me. I'm the one. I was born this way. Woo-hoo-hoo, And he basically took the identity of this Messiah, which is why some sects believe that he wasn't really the Messiah that was promised, but is either a prophet or just a heretic, right? I think like we could never really know. It really could have just been a scammer, like a lot of these cult leaders were. He really could have just been a cult leader of his day and was just like, it's me. I am the son of God,
Do you believe there's only one true religion?
Definitely Christianity.
I wish they had defined what true means, because for me, true is that which comports with reality, that which agrees with reality. So does Christianity agree with reality? No. Like, people can't turn water into wine, and do all the miracles that Jesus did. They're not Christ-like at all. People aren't walking on water and all that stuff. So Christianity isn't a true religion to me. But I guess the question they asked, I think, was wrong. Because I think everyone has very different definitions of what true means.
Is the true religion.
You can't say that. You
Yeah,
can't.
no, it's
you
fine.
can't say
Everybody
that.
has a right to their opinion.
You can't say that.
I mean, we don't have a right to the opinion of truth. You can't have your opinion that, 1 + 1 is 3 when it's not. Terrence Howard.
Another reason why I will fault your rationale, I mean, for Christians, is that they say we are the only one true religion. Then you ask them, why do you say we are the only one true religion? They say, see our book. We wrote there that we are the only one true religion. There has to be an objective standard of measurement of why do you think this religion is true.
Yes, 100% agree with him. There must be standards where we can be like, okay, does it tick 1, 2, 3, 4? Yes, this is true, right? Instead of just being like, my book said that, I'm the true religion, and they all can't even agree on what that book says. So,
And one of the reasons why you would find a lot of Christians tell you that Christianity is the true religion is because there are evidences, both physically and theoretically, that would backdate even to what you would see on paper.
where is this evidence?
You would go to certain sites in the world today,
Yes.
and you will find those things present there.
Okay, all right. This is classic, The Bible said this place exists, therefore the Bible is true. You can't think like that. Just because the Spider-Man comics say there's a New York, it does not mean that Spider-Man exists in reality. Like, that's a very flawed way of thinking. Like, just because the place is there, that's not evidence for the supernatural. Okay, we can agree with you that these places existed. We can even agree with you that Jesus was real. But where is the evidence of the supernatural?
Let me say something to you. Do you know this Bible we speak about said in the book of Genesis?
No. I corrected you on that you cannot use the
Bible
Bible.
said that the seed of the woman will bruise the heel of the serpent.
And I believe someone wrote it here.
No.
Someone wrote it easily.
You know, in that Bible, there were some areas in the Bible God was speaking.
How do we know?
Hello? There was some area in the Bible God was speaking. Those parts of the Bible that are written in red Bibles. And
Oh my gosh, I can get a book and I can change colors. I can be like, I'm gonna write this part in red, I'm gonna write this part in purple. This means that Zeus is speaking, and this means that, I don't know. What's another one? Whoever is speaking. And it's just like, oh my God. That's not evidence. Anybody can write a book and change the colors.
Thank you.
So Christianity in itself was fashioned from people who were behaving like Christ.
Christ-like, yes.
And what did Christ do
Where they're walking on water.
in himself? Christ in himself came to give, he said, I didn't come to abolish the law, I came to fulfill it.
Yeah, one of those laws is that it's okay to own slaves.
So what he came to do...
See, now you've contradicted yourself, yeah?
hold on.
Sorry, I'm getting upset now.
Contradict yourself, yeah?
Hold on.
No, he's not come to abolish the law.
Hold on.
And the law has been the custom.
Oh, now.
They have been the customs.
See, what
And they have been the systems on the
what you're
ground.
saying, what
it
you're...
has been there from the beginning.
Let me explain to you.
Custom.
Let
The
me,
law.
It is
I feel like they need like a talking stick to be like, the person holding the stick is the one talking, because we're not going to get anywhere with Mama here.
it was
Sorry,
in the
man.
word.
And it's before
The word was
Let me-
made.
She's really not saying anything. She came with one verse.
The word was made of
It's
flesh.
all
Can
law.
I finish my point?
And this is what I'm trying to tell you.
Next. Okay, we all worship the same God, but in different forms. I know what they want to
I
say.
believe steadfastly that we all worship the same God. The origin of religion, it came from one God. I want to give you example from my ordinal tradition. The ordinal tradition came from Eri. Eri is the fifth son of God. God
Mama is struggling, y'all. Somebody needs to help my girl. And somebody needs to take care of her bag. Oh my God.
Do you know that serving God through Jesus Christ is the same God himself?
Oh,
You see, that's my problem. How will you say that Jesus Christ?
Honestly, I can't even blame them. The Trinity is wild. The mental gymnastics you have to do to. Actually, you shouldn't even use mental gymnastics because if you tried, you wouldn't be able to comprehend what you're talking about. So it's just something that you just accept as like, yeah, the Trinity, obviously. Jesus is God, duh.
Christ is God.
Jesus is good.
How? How will you say Jesus Christ did he marry and now have a child that became God? Jesus Christ came to the earth. You see, that's my confusion. Because me, I'm angry about this. That's my confusion about this thing. How will you say that Jesus God is Jesus Christ and he came to earth, and you still say that God is a spirit?
Honestly, tell him. Tell him the way he's holding that like he's about to beat somebody. Fuck. Yeah, definitely. Like, there's so much. It's like God told Mary, "You gonna give birth to me, and I'ma impregnate you so you can give birth to me." And then when Jesus is out and about, it's like, "Yeah, I'ma send the Spirit as me, and y'all will never be without me." And it's like, what? Nah, the Trinity can never make sense. I'm sorry.
The spirit have flesh and blood.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
We can't help her. You can't save
The
her.
spirit can have flesh and blood. Because Mary, the mother of Jesus, had never had a relationship before. Mary conceived Jesus through the power of the Holy Spirit.
How does?
hearing that.
Do you understand? I'm not hearing that. It is what was done.
Right? Do you hear that? Do you hear yourself speaking? Are you comprehending what you're saying? Like, you know how we used to just sing, like, I used to love the Whisper song when I was younger, and then I heard the lyrics, and I was like, yo, I had no business listening to that. And I feel like she's the same way. She's just saying, oh, the Trinity, yeah. God impregnated himself into Mary so that she could give birth to, him. And then he would bring the flesh and blood spirit according to
What was said to be? What was? Because that was why the book of Genesis said the seed of the woman
Hey, hi, girl.
shall bruise the heel of the serpent.
What does that have to
You
do with
understand
this?
the Bible very well.
What does that have to do with this? She keeps bringing this verse up, and I don't know why.
That was why that reading came from book of Genesis. You understand that a woman will surely give birth to the Messiah.
Even he's in the back,
The
like,
Messiah.
like what? How is the seed of the woman will bruise the heel of the serpent? Translate to God is going to impregnate a 14-year-old with himself to give birth to himself.
Are you understanding me?
No.
That God himself is going to come down to this world.
How did you get that from that sentence? Yo, hi.
Do you know Jesus is God? God himself, no man could do it. Nobody could do it. Nobody can carry the sins, can bear the sins of this world. But it took God himself to come down.
She's literally having a sermon pass. She's not even answering the question. There is no thought, like she's not following through her thoughts. She literally came here to preach one word. And she's gonna put it in everywhere.
Me, Ordinana, I worship that God. You Christian worship that God. You a Muslim worship that God.
You cannot worship
Hindu
God in ordinary.
worship that God.
You cannot worship
Buddhism
God in
worship that God.
ordinary. Because
Constitutionalism
he said
is
you
the
worship
same
him
God.
in the
All of us
temple.
worship. All of us say the Bible.
Why is she here? Because the question is, we all worship the same God but in different forms. And the agreeers are the ones who are supposed to be seated here. And she's not agreeing with these people.
I want to connect again to what he has said, which is the fact that he has laid origin of certain religions back to the God of the Bible. Which
No, it's not the God of the Bible.
Inevitably,
It's the
no,
God
but you acknowledge
of gods.
which that's fine.
I did not say Bible. Did I mention Bible?
That's
No.
okay. So
Excuse me. Did
I'll
I
take it.
mention
Hold on,
Bible?
hold on.
He did not mention Bible. Tell him.
I was talking.
All right, I'll correct myself. You
I say
linked
Christian.
him.
I say Muslim.
You linked him to
Quran. Why
the
did
God
you say Quran?
All right, hold on. You linked him to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Facts.
And from history, we know that the God that they worshipped was the same God that is Jesus.
We do not know that.
Right? So what you have also done is to acknowledge that
He's literally
there is
my
one true
spirit animal.
religion because there's a source of truth which stands as one. And what you have now said, based on your own understanding, is that this source of truth has now birthed different expressions, which is okay.
Source of truth has birthed different expressions. No, that's not how truth works. It can be in like, so I can say 1 + 1 is 2 in English, and then I can say it in other languages, right? That's different expressions of this truth. But that doesn't change the essence of 1 + 1 is 2. The way people worshipped in the Old Testament and the New Testament and today are completely different.
Sorry, I don't want to look at
No,
it.
he's
I'm
trying
talking
to
too
say-
much.
he's trying to
He
say
said
that Abraham-
that one is Jesus.
No, he's saying the God
He
of
should
Abraham.
remove that is Jesus.
No, he's
Okay,
saying the-
I get what his problem is. So his thing is that there's God, right? And he doesn't like the fact that people are worshiping Jesus as God, right? He's saying there's this God, but the problem with Christianity is that they believed this guy that was like, me, it is me, God in the flesh, it is I. He doesn't like that aspect of it. Okay, I understand what he's saying.
Who
God of
is
Abraham.
Jesus to you?
No, wait, madam. He was saying the God
Who
of
is
Abraham.
Jesus to you?
Is that same God
Can you
that
say who Jesus is to you?
Do I know
Jesus comes
Jesus?
thereafter? We're talking about
Do I know Jesus? That's my man.
the
No,
Psalm.
Jesus.
I just want-
I know only my God and
Jesus.
The reason why I think we also have different gods, the God that we your God that God is not a God of confusion. So you get what I'm trying to say. So you cannot have one God that is not telling different people, you do this, you do that, you do this, and confusing the whole world.
I agree with him. I completely agree with him because if this God wanted us to end up with him, he would want us all to know the rules of the game. But now he's giving specific people specific rules of the game. And then those people are trying to convince us that these are the right rules to the game, even though we never get told by God what our rules of the game are, if that makes sense. It's really unfair and really confusing, like he said. And God said he's not the God of confusion. Why is there so much confusion? Like, do you guys understand how many Christian sects they are? And this is just Christian. Think of all the other religions.
Me, I believe that we serve one God. Like you said, I'm sure that there's somewhere you got your belief from, because you definitely, someone gave birth to you, you knew nothing. It was definitely your grandfather, your ages people that actually gave you that belief that, okay, there's ordinalao, and that person is so and so.
reincarnation.
Exactly. So for me, obviously, my
I don't know if they said the same thing, because she said you're born not knowing anything, so then your parents tell you like, oh, these are the beliefs. Your parents and your society tell you that these are what we believe in. And then he says reincarnation. I don't think they're communicating there.
let me just say something. You see, I, as an ordinary man, I went to the university.
Why does this person degrade her? She's so injured by this man.
I'm not like all those native doctors that only go in the bush and do bush thing and come out. Look, I want to be a world class ordinary man. Do you understand? So I read. Now I want to give you one illustration. Now I read one book and the person told me that God is like an elephant, a very big elephant, and all the followers of God from different religions are blind. So when they touch the elephant, everybody is touching.
I
This one
see
is
what you're
touching
saying.
the belly, and he's very wide, and he say God is like a wall. The other one is touching the tail and say God is long. The other one is touching the leg and he say God is long and he has bone. The other one is touching the head and he say that's how religion is. Your revelation of religion, religion is spiritual. What you
Nobody ever explains to me what this word means.
get from the spiritual that is what you run with.
But how do I know that that's true? Because in the spiritual realm, there's also people that want, not people, there's also spirit things that want to deceive you. So how do I know that these spirit things aren't deceiving me from seeing the true spiritual world?
Do you understand? We ordinary people.
So I loved his analogy. Like it was very I don't know where it was going initially, but like as he explained with, I'm like, oh okay, I see what you're saying. But I still feel like there's a lot of like holes in there where confusion can still, seep in. Like again, at the end of the day, it's an elephant. So is he saying that we should all come together and join everything and then create the full elephant? If I'm going to take the analogy all the way there, because there's a lot of contrasting things in religion that it's not even the same animal at this point,
Traditionalists are not worshiping the God that I am.
She's so angry. She came up with such vigor, like damn. Okay, sorry, let me pay attention.
Traditionalists are not worshiping the God that I am worshiping.
Tell them.
I am worshiping the living God. The traditionalists are worshiping their chi, according to them, their omenani. I worship the true one God, which is God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit.
How you said three things and just kept one finger, bruh? That's the one true, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. That don't even make sense. Oh my God, I love her.
African traditional religions encourages ritual killings, which is bad.
Whoa, I don't know if I want to go there. But it could be spicy, and I'm not monetized now anyway, so it could be fun.
Christianity started from the New Testament. Abraham wanted to sacrifice his only son.
Yes.
Abraham did not want to sacrifice his own son. God told Abraham to sacrifice his own son. And then he came back later, was like, nah, I'm just fucking with you.
New Testament.
Yes, which is Isaac. And because our God, the God whom I serve, through Jesus Christ, is a merciful God.
Merciful how? Drowning people, is that merciful? Sodom and Gomorrah, is that merciful? Like, oh my gosh, the amount of killings that go on in the Bible, how is that merciful? As well as the infinite punishment for a finite sin. Like, how is that merciful?
He said, hold on, I'll give you a lamb. So instead of you sacrificing your son, let me give you a lamb, an animal, in replace of...
This girl read her own version of the Bible because she's missing out a few key points. Okay, so God told Abraham, so Abraham and Sarah, I think that's her name, his wife, been waiting for a kid. God sends an angel to come and be like, don't worry, kid is coming, right? And then eventually when they got a kid when she was old, miracle baby. And then God was like, yeah, now sacrifice that thing to me so that I know that you love me more than you love this kid. Then he was like, all right, he takes the kid with, doesn't tell Sarah that this is what he's planning on doing. He just takes the kid with. The kid eventually figures out, is like, oh, are you gonna sacrifice me? Because we didn't bring an animal to sacrifice and you said we're gonna do a sacrifice. Then Abraham was like, yeah, kid, it's gotta be you. And then the son was like, I mean, if that's what God wants, sure, why not? And then he gets him onto the altar thing, and as he's about to kill him, God is like, no way, I'm just tripping. Here's an animal for you to sacrifice, and since I can tell your dedication to me, I'm gonna make you the father of nations, basically. And that is not what she's saying. She's saying, oh, God had mercy and then was like, here is an animal. If God was merciful, he wouldn't have thought of this crazy plan to begin with. Like, what? What is that?
Your son. So why should a religion come to take another person's life just for sacrifice? No.
Okay, you know what their God also did actually? I'm sorry, I'm tired of these people's high moral ground. The thing with Pharaoh and Moses, when they were having the plagues and stuff, and then Pharaoh was like, it's been tough. I'm tired of these frogs and locusts. I'm gonna let these people go. And then God hardened Pharaoh's heart because he wanted to let loose the angel of death to kill every firstborn in Egypt that didn't have that blood on the on the wall. Like, what? Like, this is not merciful. He hardened Pharaoh's heart. He drowned innocent people during the great flood. Didn't give anybody a chance. Just talked to, who did the boat? Noah. Just talked to Noah and like, yeah, you and your kin, you get on the boat. Screw everybody else. Did the same thing in Sodom and Gomorrah. It's like, yeah, okay, your son, you get out. Like, clearly there's a chosen people narrative here, and the rest of us are just doomed to hell. Because if God knows everything from beginning to end, and He chooses to create you, knowing that you're going to be a serial killer, so that you end up in hell. Not even a serial killer, knowing that you're going to masturbate at some point and not ask for forgiveness for it, and then you end up in hell. Did He not put you in hell? He could have just hardened your heart to make sure you never stop masturbating, because He's done this before. And Jesus didn't come to change the law, remember? So God can still do whatever He wants. He can still command whatever genocide He wants.
Let's take it one by one.
Okay, Jesus dying on the cross. He's talking about Jesus dying on the cross.
What was that?
Sacrifice. It's only the sacrifice. It's only the sacrifice.
Girl, nah, Mama needs to go back to Sunday school. What do you mean Jesus dying on the cross was not a sacrifice? That's literally like the last sacrifice, the purest sacrifice, the sacrifice.
Somebody actually went to someone's house to rob the house and kill the owner of the house. Is that a sacrifice?
It's a sacrifice.
That is not
Because you know why? Because whoever he consulted before going to that mission,
Can I come in here?
there must be a blood that has to be
That is
spilled.
not a sacrifice.
Okay.
No, that's the most.
Yeah, this is news to me. So when there's a robbery, somebody get killed, they probably consulted somebody and they were told that blood must be spilled for you not to be punished. I don't know. You could go to traditional healers and ask for some, I thought usually people just got a snake that vomited out money instead of having to go and rob people.
You see, initially I came out, but later, that is why I want to encourage all of us that are here. You need to be close with your chi. We, the Igbo people, we are close with our chi. Why are they laughing?
Why are they laughing? Like they really think they're so superior to the traditionalists that what he's saying sounds ridiculous to them, and yet they will count 3 things like this.
We are close with our chi. Now, sometimes, yes, our chi,
Jesus Christ.
our chi, our
Our
God.
God.
So
She
now,
is God.
you
She
see,
is God. Am I
no,
right?
the chi is not God. The chi is your personal God. We have the Chuku, that is the great God, the big God. We have the Umabara, that is the communal God or community God. Then we have the we have the Ndiche, that is your ancestors. Then we have the Chi, which
It's very similar to like down here. That whole hierarchy of like, if you want to pray, you have to basically go through your ancestors, then they'll send it up to the right God. So
sorry, sir. My position in this situation is this: one, true African traditional religion encourages sacrifice, human sacrifice. In everything, there is a good way and there's a bad way. When you kill people.
Oh no, I don't think in everything. I can't think of any situation that would justify rape.
People out of their will is wrong.
Okay.
But when you kill people in their will is right. It happens in the Bible.
Which, yeah, I think how I would say it. Wait, for you, cancel me. What I am agreeing with is when he described that, I thought of euthanasia, right? I'm definitely euthanasia gang. If you want to go have a nice trip, So yeah, I agree with him in that sense that if you want to go, you should be allowed to go in the most humane way possible. Yes. Yeah, I don't agree in like the whole framing of like sacrifice and ritual killings, but I do agree in bodily autonomy that you can decide, actually, I'm out, and you'll be allowed to.
Have you seen that killing is not wrong? Because that guy opted to the killing. That's what Jesus Christ did, your Jesus Christ. He said, kill me.
Yeah.
for these people.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, I don't think ritual killing is bad. And the reason why is that, yes, American tradition encourages ritual killing, but it provides a framework for you to, for which the killing will be carried on. It doesn't just say, go and kill this one, go and kill that, I'm killing everybody.
Like the Bible does.
No.
I'm not agreeing with it. This is looking so bad.
What about people that
For
kill
example,
people?
now, wait,
People that
please.
doesn't want to be killed.
I'm going to get there.
Mhm.
She said something. I think something. He said, why should I die for one king that's already died?
Right.
You should have stopped there. You should have been looking for the why. You shouldn't have been saying it's bad. You should just have been looking for the why. And now I'm here to bring the why to you.
Good.
And the why
Let us
is
know.
this.
Still in the Z.
Okay, yes. So and the why is this. Somebody said something that beware of those who try to destroy history, because what they are trying to destroy is the collective memory that protects us in the present. So there are so many things in the that we do in the present that we don't know why. But trust me, there's a reason why society developed those system of living. The concept of family now, you don't know why we have family. Family hasn't always existed. But there's a reason why society decided that let us start having family, let us start having one man, one wife. Do you understand? So those
But that doesn't mean that it's right or that we should carry it on, right? So, in the sense of like families, for example, it was because of privatized agriculture. So, back in the day, you would just farm, everybody is hunter gathering, we're farming, it's more like a collective thing. And then people started actually, owning land and being like, okay, this is my piece of land. And to make sure that I farm my piece of land and that my family eats, I need to make sure that only people from my family are in this land. And that's when we started with the whole patriarchy in general. Patriarchy is very much linked to agriculture. And then the patriarchy happened, and now we have, mortgages. But the point is, right, just because it's tradition and it's something that we've always done, it doesn't make it right. Traditionally, we always used to walk around naked because it's hot as fuck, But now we understand the dangers of UV rays and cancer and all that stuff, so we try to protect ourselves with clothing and sunscreen and all that stuff. Back in the day, we used to eat certain herbs, and now because of science and chemistry, we're able to refine those herbs and turn them into more effective medications, and that's why our mortality rate has decreased as the human species and why there's so many of us. So change has helped us grow as a species, as a people, not sticking to tradition. In fact, that holds us back from improving ourselves.
the same way those ritual killings developed. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So those ritual killings now, for example, they try to appease the gods of the land. They try to say, you stop. Maybe when somebody dies, when somebody is, when maybe there's no peace in the land again, they'll say, okay, this person must be angry. Let us go and appease the person.
Actually, there is a thing for I read. I'm not sure where. I'll try to link the book. Where witchcraft, like people would do killing witches, like ritual killing of like witches or women, and basically it was like in times of famine, like if there was no water, like if there's a drought, people would try to appease their gods by killing off the elderly. And stuff like that, right? And it was a way to reduce the population so that you wouldn't have to provide for as many people. So yeah, it's definitely cruel, right? But it it had benefits in the sense that there were less mouths to feed, and the younger people could now get more of the resources, and as there was less to share with the elderly generation that was being like cut off. I don't know why they chose women to be the ones to go, because women had a lot of knowledge about the land and tradition and stuff like that. So I think they should have killed the men instead. But I guess because the men are the ones that are brutes and do the killing, they were like, yeah, nah, elderly women have to go because they don't birth anymore. Like your womb isn't really contributing to our commune anymore. So it's okay if you kind of go. Yeah.
They would, while you are alive, they don't just pick you and kill you. They will give you every single thing that the king enjoyed. And that is consideration for your life. every single thing. If you say you want this wife, they'll give it to you. If you say you want this, they'll give it to you. Every single thing
I
you
mean, what
enjoy.
about the autonomy of the person who doesn't want to be had? Like, because you dying, what does that mean? I must give myself to you because, like, where's my bodily autonomy?
A question for you. If you have a sister or someone you love so much, or maybe your mother, and they're like, okay, she's going to die for a king or somebody, will you agree to that?
I'm telling you that in your
I mean, it's not really up to me. It's up to my mother or sister. Bodily autonomy, y'all. Like, if there's consent and they informed consent, if they have informed consent, then yes. But if it's like, oh, if you don't die with the king, then we're all gonna suffer and there'll be a curse of the land. I mean, we don't know that. Like, that's not informed consent. That's more like threats. Yeah, this question was tough. Okay, I believe that the opposing side is evil. So, do I believe that Christianity is evil? What does evil mean? I love this show, but I'm looking for the definition. There we go. Profoundly immoral and wicked. Do I believe that Christianity is profoundly immoral or wicked? Yes, I believe that Christianity is profoundly immoral and wicked. Do I believe that African traditional religions are immoral and wicked? The ones that I know, no, I don't think that the ones that I know are immoral or wicked. It's just a lot of like preserving tradition and like herbs. Like I don't know which ones they're talking about, and it's not like the ones that I know I'm well versed in. So I can't exactly pass the judgment, but what I know of them, I can judge Christianity to be evil and African traditional religion to not be evil from what I know of them. And I know way more about Christianity than I do about African traditional religion. So I'm not the best judge here. But what she's saying about the killing is something that's very common in the Bible. In fact, I think it's even worse because it's not just kill your dead, it's you die and then you go to hell on top of that. So God hardens your heart for you to continue doing whatever sin he needs you to do so that his chosen people can prosper in this life. And then when you die, he's like, yeah, now go to hell for all eternity for the thing I knew and created you to do. So that's why I think it's immoral and evil that you can punish someone infinitely for a finite moment of wrong. It just doesn't make sense. Whereas with ATR, it's a lot of like, once you die, you go to work as an ancestor. No rest for the wicked, I guess.
There's a form of admittance on our part, and we try to explain, our position. But the other side, which is your side, you don't see anything wrong in yourself
Yeah.
at all.
Yes, I will agree that the traditionalist side, they've been able to critique and being like, yeah, they've thought this through. They've been like, this is what kind of gets me off the wrong way. Sometimes I don't know why we do what we do. I just follow. At least they're honest with themselves. Whereas the Christians are so adamant about being the truth.
Think you are so pure. For example, now, because of your eyes, you didn't think that it's a very reprehensible act that your God did, in the sense that he gave birth to his own child and allowed Herod to kill thousands of others.
Yeah.
But saved only his own.
Exactly. Thank you.
That's a form of sacrifice. You didn't think about that. The same thing you guys do when you die and when you engage in an accident, you are involved in an accident. You maybe you're the only one who survived. Do you get what I say? Maybe you're the only one who survived. You say, thank God, you're going to give testimony. My God is the living God. He allowed me to survive and allowed the rest to die.
The living
So
God,
you don't see those form of rituals and sacrifices.
The living God is not a partial God, but a living God. You said that when we are doing Happy Christmas or Happy New Year, we cook and give you people. You people eat with pure mind. But now when you people are doing your traditional something, you cook and give us. We say no, we don't want to eat traditional. We cannot eat traditional.
Because you're evil.
Because
I love this guy.
They don't acknowledge that English language is not their language. They thought English language is their language and they can interpret the Bible. You will see a man in Ochanja Market in Onitsha. He will come and be reading Bible and is interpreting it. He didn't pass primary 6. You need to understand English to be able to understand the Bible.
Literally, like, if you want me to believe in the Bible and Christianity, I always say, like, if there was, like, the original Bible, right? And any person who held it, it would automatically translate into that person's language at the difficulty that they would understand exactly what the Bible is trying to say to them. That would remove so much confusion and would prove to me the supernatural. Because how is one book able to do that, to translate itself? Like on paper, I'm not talking like device, like technology, like actual old book paper able to do that. That is a supernatural miracle. I will believe that Christianity is real there. I might not worship God still, but I'll believe in what you're saying. Right. But why was I talking about this? Yes, the whole interpretations of the Bible. Like, I went to a church where they were like, we only read King James here. Very difficult to understand. Like, and then I went to another one, like, oh, it's just NIV, that's all we got. And everybody has like a different preference for like the Bible they want to read, the interpretation they want to read. And choosing a different word changes so much, right? Because if I said you fell or you slipped, like, both things indicate that you like lost your footing and ended up on the ground, but I visualize different things when you say that, because you can fall like from a bunk bed and you fall down, right? But slip, you're like on the ground and you slip. So it's very important the words that they use, and that's why there's so many conflicting interpretations, which leads to so many conflicting sects.
The word Christianity, actually, as I said earlier, started from people acting like Christ. And
Christians don't act like Christ. Christians hate prostitutes, and Jesus was always around prostitutes, and not in any judgmental way. Jesus never had a big house, big cars, all these things. There's a lot of things that Christians do that are not Christ-like at all. They try to simplify them, just like, oh, love your neighbor and cares of it. But he did a lot. He walked around a lot. So if you're not walking by foot in sandals and a robe in Palestine, then you're not being like Christ at all.
It's actually attributed to love. And
You see?
the reason Christ came to the world is because he loved the whole world. So this is someone that actually shows concern. Yes, I agree. It's a sacrifice. And remember I said the other time that when we spoke about sacrifice, that God gave us his son to make the sacrifice once and for all. Final sacrifice, no more.
I feel like to be a Christian, you need to sacrifice yourself. It's more of like an internal death to self for you to be Christ-like, because we're all not like Christ. We're not Cleon. If you watch Foundation, we can't all be like one person. So in order to be a true Christian, you have to sacrifice who you are as a person, sacrifice yourself, die unto yourself, so that you can become like Christ, be reborn. So it is a form of sacrifice, a very dangerous form of sacrifice, because you're just denying yourself.
The love Christ showed is for everybody to be redeemed. So irrespective of who you are, where you're from, your religion, I'll never see you as an evil person.
Oh my God, it's that thing Christians do of like, love, hate the sin, not the sinner. That's why they all think they can save P. Diddy.
Even the Bible says that God doesn't hate sinners. It's just a sin.
I told
and
you.
Who am I to call someone a sinner? Even when me myself, I was once a sinner, just that I found grace. But why should we bring stereotype into this? The fact that one person is evil, doesn't mean that every other person is evil. The same way they also said, some Christians will not greet them. That's the same way we too will say, oh, these people, they are evil. They make sacrifices. They do.
I wasn't saying like as the people being evil themselves. I'm more like the practice of like Christianity itself. Is it evil? And I really do think so. There's so much violence attached to it. Like genocide is a big part of the Bible. Like most of the Old Testament is just God, getting people to go to one place and then kill everybody there and go to another place and kill everybody there, and that's really evil. And slavery, the justification of slavery, is just really evil. Like I'm sure there's very negative things in ATR as well. Like the whole, like there's a lack of informed consent, bodily autonomy, and women's rights in African traditional religions that I know, right? There is a big lack of that. Like it's a lot of conformity to specific roles that you're designated to play as an individual based on your genitalia, your name, your birthright, and all that stuff. And I don't see that as evil. I see it more as like a nuisance and like bad, and that we need to like undo it and grow and take control of our own of our own autonomy, our sovereignty, and implement change and encourage each other to be better and do better. But I don't think there's anything inherently evil in believing that your ancestors have got your back. Like it makes sense even scientifically that a lot of the genetic material that makes me up came from a lot of genetic material from my ancestors. So I am everything that they were, and I'm just carrying on life with them embedded in me. It's DNA, it's genetics. So it's poetic, more like. It's just a lot of the rules that exploit people are bad. But to say evil is like, I think Christianity, the whole concept of hell and all that stuff, that's just very evil.
Do this, they do that.
Those pointing behind closed doors and you don't know.
The same way you people are calling me evil right now. You people already tagged me as evil.
I'm not calling you evil.
Okay, you said when you
understand?
But you people generally
you never call us.
I will agree. Like Christians, Westerners, people that aren't accustomed to interacting with traditionalists see it as a bad, evil thing. Like there's always the jumping to like bad juju and voodoo and all these ritual killings and all these things, and people don't appreciate the doulas, the medication that came from there, the culture of helping people and calming ways to like deal with trauma, dealing with death and all these things. Like they don't see it the same way as they do other religions. They see it as something that's like dark and like demonic. Like there's been a big movement of demonizing African traditional religions. Even me, when I was a Christian, I really saw them as just the devil's playhouse, basically, like this evil place. You can't just go, oh, they're throwing bones, this must be the devil working through them, instead of just seeing it as another form of prayer, because that's what it is. There's nothing inherently evil about it.
You people generally
Christianity to me.
Evil.
Sorry.
Generally.
Please, what's your name, sir?
Me?
Yes.
I'm Chukwebuka, Mazi
Mr. Chukwebuka. Mazi. Okay, Mazi. Let me stick to that. I love that title. I'll never tag you evil if you've not hurt me.
So if I hurt you, then I'll be evil.
Even you hurting me, I'll still seek peace with you, because that is the true religion. Because that is what Christianity is all about.
I refuse to agree to this one you're saying.
Personally,
I'm not interrupting you. I have something to say.
Something. What if I pray?
So this chipping you are doing, you want us to call you evil? Is that what you are
give me
thinking?
I'm not
Because
going
we
to
say
call
we
you
don't
evil.
consider you as evil.
I'm not going to condemn you.
everybody as evil.
Understand? Christianity, I don't know. So many people out there believe that Christianity is a religion. I call Christianity a way of life to me.
Oh God,
And it's a
I
way of
can't do
showing
this, girl.
love. If there's no love in your life, then you are not a Christian. I don't know who you are serving.
In the back of your mind, you people think we are evil.
Facts.
I cannot. How many times have
I agree with you.
I will begin my ritual. I will begin my ritual. They will be passing. My ritual.
Someone still kill me. Wait, someone still kill me. Everybody, for me, I feel everybody's evil. There's an atom of
He's not wrong. I feel like, given the right circumstances, we could all be pushed to do really, really terrible things. The way he said it, though.
evil. Don't push the button. When you push the button, you get to see what I'm trying to tell you. So it is with every other thing in existence. The list of all animals, there is a bit of evil. Because when you push that button, you see the other side, which I don't think you're gonna like. Evil.
So do you want me to?
Not the two sides.
You
That's
want
how
me
it
to
works.
consider you
The good
evil?
and the bad, you have to know and decide if I'm evil or if I'm not.
I'm actually shocked that people are striving so hard to be called evil.
No, because it's natural. There's every element of evil. There's every element of evil.
It's all confidence. So what was called evil? You don't get that.
Actually, even Christians believe that you're born with the original sin. You're born evil, and that's why you need to be born again. So they should believe that they're evil because they're not born again. That's the end of that conversation. That was heated. That was a lot. Actually, you should check out the channel Cruise. Linked in the description. If you've made it this far, you clearly enjoyed yourself. So like, subscribe, comment. Let me know if I'm right, if I'm wrong. Anything for engagement, really.